All right, Randy with Direct Action. What's up, everybody? We're going to go through some videos here, and based on what I see, I'll give some feedback on what has transpired and what my thoughts are on it.
I want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Okay, so everyone has their take on recent events that happened last weekend with the Trump assassination attempt. And, you know, a little bit of background. So I was, ironically enough, providing some firearms training to a group of civilians and general public. And this group, for example, all professionals, middle-aged men, you know, business owners, accountants, doctors, real estate agents, you name it. They're all professionals. They're all just interested in firearms training. So when this happened, we were in the middle of a break, and guys started to kind of freak out. They're all watching their phones or responding to messages while we were training. In between the break, they're on their phones, and they started losing their minds. Oh my God, what does this mean? You know, this is crazy, this is crazy. And my response initially was borderline emotionless, like kind of almost shrugged my shoulders like, okay, what do we know right now? This just happened. And the first place that my mind went was this staged? Is this made up? Is this just a distraction attempt for some other reason? That's what first went through my head. And I didn't see the video until, you know, later on when these guys were bringing it to fruition. So now that I've seen a bit of what went down, I saw a couple of different variations of what was posted. Now we're going to just talk about this particular video that we see. So where I just put the video on pause, the shot has been taken. There's been a reaction by Donald Trump, and then there's clearly a significant reaction from the crowd in between. Because of my background and where my head goes, right away I'm thinking about where is his immediate protection detail, and you know, why are they not getting this guy off of the stage into a safe room that's already been identified, or into a getaway vehicle that's closely parked somewhere close by. That's what I'm first thinking. So as I watch the video, again, I'll just be completely transparent. This is probably the second or third time, I guess, I've watched components of this video. And each time there's another deduction that I take away. I'm not casting shade on the protection team. I'm not. However, when I look at this, they seem ill-prepared. They seem like they don't know exactly where they're going or what the plan is. Now we see other security forces with long guns entering the scene. And again, Trump is still on the stage, and there are members of the immediate protection escort section. So the PEZ team that has got hands on, who are either contemplating drawing their guns or have already drawn their pistols. In my opinion, it's just my opinion, feel free to click and move on if you don't want to hear my opinion. If you want my opinion, then that's why you're tuned in. My opinion is, your responsibility is to get that individual to safety. With guys with long guns and scoped firearms, let them look out and let them take care of the panoramic view. For you as the protection detail, whether it's the bodyguard specifically or the personal escort section, so the personnel that needs to move, physically getting a hold of that person with two hands, escorting them down the stairs with conviction into a vehicle that will get them to safety, that would be a priority number one, in my opinion. Okay, so, you know, nearly 30 seconds, I guess, has gone by. He's still on the stage. Now, I don't know, so I don't know all the details of what was being said on stage, who was given direction, what the plan was. I don't know any of that. What I do know is what I'm seeing. And what I'm seeing is not a lot of movement. Trump is most likely being medically assessed to see the severity of the situation, which makes total sense. But that can be done from the protection of an armored vehicle while the vehicle is in motion, moving to an alternate location that has already been predetermined. Why he's still on stage, I'm not sure. I don't know if that's, Trump saying I'm not going anywhere or whatever it might be. I don't know those things. But as an individual who has worked in this type of environment and done this type of work before, the communication prior to a some sort of staged event like this needs to be communicated between the principal and the protection team. In other words, sir, if this happens, this is what we're doing. If this happens, we're going here. If that happens, we're going there. It's already pre-planned and predetermined. Therefore, under a stressful situation, when it unfolds, there's no guessing and there's no communication that's required. It's already been determined. It's been rehearsed. It's been communicated. So there's no guessing.
Happened to our country, probably 20 million people. And that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
So in that show-up barrage, I heard 3 shots. So 3 shots were taken from the assassination attempt location, which we later learned there was about 130 yards from where Trump was standing. So again, we have, counter sniper teams that are often in pre-position already, looking out in a variety of different locations that would be predetermined in potential or probable positions where somebody, if they had a vantage point, where would that be? So where is the, basically the stage, where is the principal speaking from? And then based off of that, we build the plan and we layer it in terms of security and protection out and in. So 3 shots have now been fired. If there's counter sniper teams that are in position, taking note of where these potential danger threat areas are, the amount of time between first shot fired to when a sniper would have visual on that potential location is marginal. What I mean by marginal is depending on how well positioned that shooter, that assassin would be positioned, what the standoff is. There are a lot of factors that go into that, but with a well-trained team, these considerations would be predetermined prior to the principal taking the stage, in this case, Trump being on stage.
If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
So later on, we learn, there's a lot of deductions and thought on, when and where and how he turned his head and how marginal it was, how close it was for him to actually, receive that bullet into the CPU. Yeah, I mean, we're talking a couple of inches to the right, and it could have been a very different situation. Is a security team going to have the ability to, have a solution to every single problem? No, absolutely not. There are margins of error. There are percentages of gray zone. We sometimes refer to it as where we have to react. In other words, the shitheads, the bad guys, they have a say in the matter, and we will have to react. What we're trying to do is be on the front edge. So, force projecting, protection criteria and contingencies. If this, then that kind of idea is what we're after when we formulate a team like this. That the whole idea here is to provide protection for that individual. Whether that's we wrap the person up and we end up, being the bullet trap. Well, that's the job that we signed up for. So, unfortunate reality is sometimes that's the best course of action is get hands on the person, get them into the dirt, look to the outlet, find out where it is, and then get moving. So that's my take on it. That's my 2 cents opinion on the way this kind of unfolded, based on the fact that, I've had an opportunity to look at it after the fact. It's always easier to be a, armchair quarterback after the fact. And again, I want to be cautious. I'm not casting shade, but there's definitely some areas here that raise question in the level of training that was received, and not only that, the actions that were executed on this particular day. Okay, again, just to pile on a little bit more with the security mindset. So what I hear watching this video is the shooter's down. So somebody is communicating that the shooter is down. I don't know whose voice that is. I don't know if it's part of the security team. I don't know if that's an innocent bystander. I don't know. But a consideration to think about is maybe that person is not alone, and maybe that's just phase one of a multiple phase complex attack. So the reason I say that is, okay, maybe there is one shooter down. Let's not assume that that's the only shooter. Let's not assume that this situation is under control just yet. The reason I say that is because at this point, Trump is still on the stage. He still has not been left or escorted off the stage yet. Yeah, we want to be careful with assumptions. Like, so I'm hearing, okay, we're ready. Are you good? Let's move. But yet nobody's moving. And then somebody's voice is trying to reassure the subject or the principal at this, in this particular case, like, we're good. The shooter's down. We don't know. We just talked. We don't know if that's the only shooter. We're not good yet because you're still in the wide open. You're still, yeah, aside from a bit of a pedestal there that they're hiding behind, which I don't know what type of ballistic protection that has, if any at all. What I'm saying is you're not in safety yet. Situation is still volatile. I would be erring on the side of caution and get that individual out of there. What I find interesting is the amount of people that are just watching in the background with their cameras out. You know, again, like, could this be part of a very complex attack that is in the middle of unfolding right now? I would be one to get out of there, maybe search some corners, search some danger areas, threat areas, which there could be thousands of them. But doing something proactively with your eyes and your movement would be a little bit more advantageous than standing still with a camera in your face. Again, just my opinion.
Watch out.
All right, so then we see Trump is finally escorted to the motorcade, into the armored vehicle, and then he's taken away to either secondary, tertiary location or to a medical facility. Whatever happened there, I don't know. Anyway, it took some time for that to transpire. Eventually did. My only real key takeaway is, in a situation like that, very chaotic, very, very fast, quickly unfolding, and from a security perspective, the best course of action is to get that person out of the situation, get them in motion. Movement is life. The more we're in movement, the harder we are to hit. All right. The reality is if somebody is armed with a firearm, if that's one person, two people, three people, whatever it might be, we don't know at that point. But what we do know for a fact is a moving target is much harder than a stationary target. So my deduction watching this would be the sooner we get that person to safety, i.e. a vehicle that's in motion, the better.